Hey, good morning. I just thought, being it's such a beautiful morning, that I would just share what I'm at and how things are. I've been working, just trying to clear parts of the raised bed, um, just prepping it for planting it out. Everything seems to be just bursting into flower, which is, considering we've had really quite cold, it's amazing. Blossoms on trees and plants everywhere. I mean, this is just the front of the house, so obviously I always plan to try and get all these tubs into the garden, but for some reason it's like the beds get fuller and fuller and fuller, and I'm constantly working on them. And the pots never seem to empty, which is it's like, what is happening here? So this is my little pond that I dug in at the autumn. My friend's, who's he made the year before, has got loads of tadpoles in it, and it's going to have millions of baby frogs. And I've none this year, but a big ball of slime, and then it was awful. And I said to Sam about it, and she looked it up. So apparently, the first year you tend to not get anything but pretty much darkness and slime, and then it takes the little aerator plants to kick into touch and clean it all up and sort it all out. So I'm not going to disturb it this year whatsoever. I'll just be patient. I was going to transfer some tadpoles into it, but if it's not ready to allow them to flourish, well, then there's no point. So this is the top of the garden. I always consider it's in like 3 sections. So this is the top. Big change has been happening. I'm constantly working at it and revamping it. So we're just walking into the middle section. This is the latest tree that went in about a month ago. So the board is just to try and keep the rabbits from digging it out, and also just keep the weeds down and the moisture in. So this is an amber maple. Beautiful tree. It was given to me by a friend, and it needs quite a sunny spot, so here it is. Plum trees just starting to think about leafing. This was the Cotoneaster that I really pruned hard back over the autumn, and you'll probably see little white bandages just hanging from bits of branches and things like that. So that's just to tell me where I have actually put mistletoe seedlings in underneath the sapwood. So it's just to see. I have a few different types of trees. Predominantly they tend to grow in sort of favourite apple trees. So I've done apple and willow and Cotoneaster actually. There's an ancient tree in a churchyard in England, and there's masses of mistletoe growing from it. So this is the rhubarb. So I haven't actually harvested any yet, but I think I might be able to get a little pot of something very soon. This is going to be a massive project, and I know that it's going to take me a while. So all this area needs cleared, and what I plan to do, I mean, there's massive pieces of oak in amongst all that came from a tree in Castlewellan that the wind blew down, and a group of folk from Castlewellan wanted me to carve a park bench, for the square, but likelihood of that happening? Don't know. Anyway, this was the area that he had dug out 4 years ago, I think, maybe, to build a new workshop in, and it has sat since then. So I've literally covered it, try and keep the weeds down because it is part of the project. And ideally, I would like to make a kind of prairie area, like with grasses. and turn that into it, maybe with wildflowers and probably dry bed herbs. So that's the plan for that. So I'll not book a date for when it's going to be finished. Apple trees aren't in even bud yet. That's the eating apple tree, the discovery one, and the big cooking apple tree. It's just starting to kind of think of popping its flowers out. So it's a Bramley. Makes amazing trees. That was the first fruit tree planted in the garden. And the lower bed, which is, I would consider, pretty dry as well. So the euphorbia is in flower, which I absolutely adore when the light shines on it, the sunlight, because they just look like tiny little lily pads. And the sun bounces through them and they're lime green and just gorgeous. So I've put an awful lot into this garden, this bed actually, sorry, since last year. So it's looking a bit sparse in places and things are quite small, but they will come up and fill as the summer goes on. That is a Photinia red robin. Finally really happy there. A lot of stuff